Capricorn.
Hello Capricorn, this is your January astrological forecast for 2017 and happy New Year. Listen, we're starting off the month on a fabulous note with hopes and dreams and feeling all powered up that this year is going to be different from any other year, and that's the power of Neptune influencing your direction here with Mars. Now for you, these are showing up in your third house for communication. So I feel that this could be a year where you're wanting to travel a little bit more, not necessarily out of country or anything, but just be a little bit more on the move, on the go, as if you're feeling that something is going to open for you in these areas. And of course now if you're having any negotiations needing to take on shape and form, Mars is in a good position now this month. Enabling you to make a point and to make it very beautiful presentations, very harmonious. But then the main focus of any month is where the sun is. And this is in your first house, so happy birthday. It's here once a year. And that first house has everything to do with you, your personality, how you radiate, how you shine, the desires of what it is you want, and so forth. And this month, as we start out, Mercury is here as well. A little bit retrograde still, mind you, and it will be to January 8th. So if you're planning on starting up something new or take on a different direction, I'd say wait to after the 9th. Then you should be good to go. Even though Mercury will still be somewhat in its shadow, at least she's not retrograde. So this is a month for you to figure out what you want, what you desire, how you want to change up, maybe even your looks. First house is all about physical presentation. So you might just go for a new wardrobe, you might go for a new haircut, that kind of thing. Venus in December was very much so active in your second house for money and getting your ducks in a row as far as what it is that you have been wanting to achieve, income and so forth, but also expenses. And of course it was a holiday month, but see, Venus right now is 27 degrees when we start off the month, and it will move into your third house for communication and travel into the sign of Pisces January 4th. So you're wrapping up whatever it is you were busy with, getting all those ducks in a row financially. Now it's more about what and who you communicate with. I see you putting a lot of love into it. Venus now in the sign of Pisces, which is spiritual, it's compassionate, it is loving and healing, creative as well, and joining up forces with Mars and Neptune already there. So what does that mean? It means that you can give fantastic presentations. If you're looking to find, say, a publisher, you could do so, at least doing a lot of good research for it. I feel that more time being spent with siblings could be important too for you, Capricorn, here this month, and the interaction should be very pleasant and also quite dynamic. Mars will also change signs, and that won't take place before on the 29th when Mars moves out of Pisces, this very romantic area for you, right? And it's going to move more into your fourth house, dealing with family members and so forth, the physical home, maybe doing a few projects that you've been procrastinating with, that will come into the picture. Great time to get those things done. Why? Because Mars, your drive is behind it. Let's get this done, right? So if you need walls repainted or lay down new flooring, well, that is the time to do so. Closer to the end of the month. And then into February, and I'm already working on your February charts, looking fantastic, Capricorn, right? More on that later. But yes, you will like that drive because it's definitely very physical, whereas January will be more in your thought area, okay, in your communication area, dreamy, sort of, because of Neptune's presence, and now with Venus coming into it as well. It's more like planning stages, visualizing what it is you want done, but then business coming up here in February. We have the full moon on January 12th. This is going to illuminate the area of relationships for you, Capricorn, this month. The interaction with your partner, or he or she, and their interaction with you as well. Somehow the illumination of this area will bring things to the forefront, maybe even some decisions coming up, because right around this full moon we do have the Sun and Jupiter. They're squaring off on each other, so you might try to get on the same page as far as what it is you're wanting to achieve. The new moon, on the other hand, 0 degrees in Aquarius. This is taking place in your financial area, your income area. Lovely place to have a new moon. It happens only once a year, so you want to make the most out of it. The new moon is always new beginnings. It's also where we plant our intentions of what it is we want to come into fruition, whether within that first month cycle from those seeds, but it carries the signature and the power for a full year. So spend a little time, look at your finances. How do you want it to grow within this coming year? This is the time, on the 27th, to be aware of it. So as we start off top of the month, we have that Mars and Neptune, like I said, in your third house for siblings, interacting with them, maybe just taking a day trip out of town would be really, really nice. And then on the 3rd, we have wonderful news coming in from Mercury, which is the messenger, delivering the message from Venus. So this could be money related, it could be relationship related. And on the 7th, we have the Sun now meeting up on its annual meeting with Pluto. Pluto is in your first house. You've been transforming over these last quite a few years now, Capricorn. And so each year when the Sun passes it, it's like it gets this injection, fueled up with new power of that new you that you're bringing forward, birthing yourself. And in that, well, see, whatever it's going to be for you, only you will know, but it is definitely a force to be reckoned with. And when we have these conjunctions, just as a little tip, and I want you to pay attention to that as we move on into the oncoming months, whenever we have a conjunction to Pluto with the Sun or the Moon, we can move mountains. It's just a lot of energy that we want to take out. If we're not physically using this energy, then it reverts and it implodes instead of explodes, right? And when we have that implosion of that energy, it just knocks us right out, and we might just feel super tired, need to take a nap, but then you know what that is. Then Pluto is working internally in your consciousness. Instead of acting it out in the world for manifestation, we act inwardly. But then you know that. Keep that in mind. We have a little hiccup on the 10th. That could just be a delay or some unexpected news, but it's a fast passing transit. Nothing really to worry about. For you, I feel that this could be somewhere between you and a misunderstanding with somebody at home, okay? So, but no biggie. On the 11th, on the other hand, here we have Mars coming up to Pluto. There's sextile, that's harmonious aspect. That is you, your passion, your drive. And then Pluto, that transformational energy. And Mars being in your 3rd house, Pluto in the 1st house, that has to do with you undertaking a direction, a shift, a change. It could be within consciousness. It could also, excuse me, my allergies. It could also be you in some presentation or talk or interview. If you're having an interview or a review, what a day to have it, because you're coming across very strong, very clear, and whoever's on the other end, they are hearing you and getting you. On the 11th, yes, again, there is a small little situation coming to the forefront. This is work-related, though. So maybe you're going to have to step in, fill in for somebody else, take their shift. It's only one of those things, no biggie, but it's more like stopping you from where you thought you were heading to having to do this instead. And then I see you getting back online. But on the 12th, Capricorn, oh, this is a date to circle on your calendar for a date night with your loved one. Candlelights, music, that give it all the works of romance. This is a fairy tale type romantic energy. If you're single, don't stay at home. Everybody is under the influence of Venus and Neptune at this time, so everybody's sending out that extra frequency, but we're also attracting it. So see what kind of magic can happen to you there around the 12th. You will feel it the day before, the day after, but the 12th is the exact date. Now Capricorn, we have 2 stop signs coming up for us this month, and it is with your ruler, by the way, Saturn. Will come and hold up a red light for Mars. And Mars, when it's direct, it just wants to hammer down the superhighway, right? It doesn't want to stop. It doesn't want to lose momentum, so it can feel a little frustrating when it happens. However, if you're smart, if you're conscious of it and why it's happening, well, then you'll pay attention to something very important. It's Saturn trying to slow us down just enough before we take some action, which is Mars. Meaning, if there is a decision to be made and you're not knowing whether to hang a left or a right, Saturn's going to slow you just enough, asking you, are you sure you want this? Are you sure you want to go in that direction? How about that direction? It allows you enough time to actually look at both sides of the coin before you move forward. But you're not going to be slowed down long, because that lack of feeling confident, that little doubt when you don't know, you'll have that on the 20th. This is Venus, your inner self, passion, emotion, conviction, and that's what we're talking about. We always want to be filled with conviction before we act, so that we don't lose time by getting lost on these sidetracks, right? On the 20th, what a day. Full of power, you're good to go. I feel at this time here, Venus is being in your 3rd house. Again, we're having you communicating or interviewing or reviewing or giving a talk, presentation, whoever it might be, or even could be signing contracts, which the 3rd house is all about as well. This is powerful. And Pluto is transforming it, so note that on your calendar as well. Then we have a little love message coming in on the 23rd, and it's just a very sweet energy between Mercury, the messenger, and Neptune being that romantic energy. So on the 27th, though, there comes that second stop sign that I mentioned. Now, instead of Mars being held back by Saturn, your ruler, it's Venus, love or money. And again, you're going to be asked by Saturn, what do you really want? Are you sure you want this? Or how about this? So whenever you're wavering, that's doubt. You're not at one with yourself, you're scattered, you're fragmented. Take your time. You don't have to act right away. It'll take maybe a day or 2, but not much longer than that, because then we have Mercury, our linear thoughts, and Pluto conjunct, meaning that, you're going to be super crystal clear. If you're smart, you'll wait for this sense of conviction before you act, and then you'll be on the right path. If you still made a decision and acted, you might regret it, and then that will become your awareness there on the 29th. So listen, this is what we have for this month, and Mars will be moving into Aries there on the 29th, into the area of home, family. Like I said, busy time for you, also with family members. I'll see you now in February. Bye now.